Sonic?
Yeah, it's me, the actual Sonic. Why'd you eat all my chili dogs?
I didn't eat your chili dogs. I didn't even see any chili dogs.
You're a liar. I saw you eat every chili dog I have.
Look, I swear, man, I don't know how you got in my house, but I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
No, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. You're just some YouTuber. I don't have to take this from you. Watch how fast I am. Here we go. Don't eat my chili dogs.
What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel, Chili Dogs. Today I'm going to be talking solely about Super Smash Bros. And why I want a movie in a combined universe and a big just... No, this is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Fans of the game, they were so excited for this movie. Is it going to deliver? We're going to talk about it right now. When the manic Dr. Robotnik returns to Earth with a new ally, Knuckles, Sonic, and his new friend Tails is all that stands in their way. This movie is rated PG for action, some violence, a little bit of what they consider rude humor, and very mild language. Only a few words here and there. Overall, I think it is a great movie for families and for kids. So I enjoyed the first Sonic the Hedgehog. I thought it was an entertaining time. The balance between the human storyline and Sonic was a bit up and down for me. Not talking about Dr. Robotnik because he is obviously like the highlight of this franchise, but the other side of things. Love James Marsden, but I do wish they would have scaled back on that. In this second movie, I do believe they listened to some of those criticisms because we get far less of that side of things. We're focused more so on Sonic, his journey, his attempt at slowly becoming this hero that his town, his family, but most importantly, he himself needs himself to be. That was a weird way to say it. We start out with the car chase at the beginning. Sonic is trying to solve a crime, doesn't do the best of jobs, so he has to have a little talk with Tom, and Tom is essentially saying, listen, you're not there yet. You're still, and we hear this all the time in these types of movies, just a kid. In the words of Uncle Ben and Aunt May at this point, with great power comes great responsibility, and Sonic has to learn that lesson throughout this movie. But Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey, the man himself, returns as this character, and I absolutely love him. You know, bringing his career back in a way that makes him relevant to a new generation, kids seeing who Jim Carrey is for the first time and getting curious about his old work and hopefully waiting until they're adult to go see his old work. But that's just who Jim Carrey is. He is so fun on screen. His movements, his mannerisms, he's spectacular as Dr. Robotnik in this movie. Now, he may get a bit less screen time, and his dialogue, I don't think, was as good as the first movie. He was able to do more Jim Carrey-isms in the first film, and there are one or two moments, you know, the moment when Dr. Eggman starts flossing, I'm like, well, I could have done without that. I understand you're trying to make it relevant for kids, but I could have done without it. And that's where we get into the moments in this movie that don't quite work as well. Whether it be the prolonged dance number that's included in the middle of the film, I enjoyed the setup for that and the ridiculousness of the other side of things, but when they start playing, you know, current music and they're trying to appeal to that generation, but not doing it in a way that is subtle and, in my opinion, well written, that didn't quite work for me. And there are a few more jokes in this sequel that are more geared towards that side of things. It doesn't fully bother me because at least the movie knows who its audience is, and there are plenty of things that appeal to the older generations as well, but you have to find a balance in that, and I'm not entirely sure that every scene did. Fortunately, there's a lot less of that side of things in this film because when it really cracks down on our main trio here, the one that we know from the video games, I guess Quadro 4 with Eggman. That's when the story gets great, man. The inclusion of Knuckles in this movie. Idris Elba, the voice is perfect. Like, he's spectacular as Knuckles. A little bit of that fish out of water, doesn't entirely know where he is at all times, what to say and what not to say. I love that type of humor. He was actually a funny character, but it is Knuckles at his core. He is BA. He is going to do whatever it takes. He's a little too trustworthy, in my opinion, but it worked really well for the type of character they were building up. I also thought Tails was a great character. I love the idea of getting Colleen O'Shaughnessey to voice this character. It was perfection. Out of the three, I do believe Tails does get the short end of the stick, but there's a lot of build-up there and a little bit of payoff, so I do appreciate that. I also love that relationship between Tails and Sonic. That is classic Sonic if you know anything about the character. I love Natasha Rothwell in this movie, but that aspect of the story I did not care about in the least bit. It was funny, but it detracted from what we were here to see, and that was Sonic. So if you ask me, part of me wishes they would have took that from 15 minutes to about 2 minutes, but kept her incredible performance intact because she was so good. But that aspect of the story just takes away. And again, we come back to the fact that the human side of things when Sonic is not on screen doesn't work near as well unless your name is Jim Carrey and you're interacting with an Agent Stone, with a Knuckles. That back and forth was perfection. And I really loved all of the classic Sonic isms at play here. If that's a word, it is now. It has heart. It's entertaining. It knows its audience. It is there to appeal to fans. And you get those moments for fans, especially in the third act of the film that is chocked full. And if you're not a Sonic fan, then you're going to watch that and be like, oh, it's just another generic blockbuster. But if you are a fan of the character, these moments are moments that you all are going to be looking for in this movie. So it's something we can't look past. It's something to get excited about. I really appreciate the filmmakers and the writers including a lot of these elements. And, there is a mid-credit scene. You don't want to miss it. I think this is a step up from the first because it focuses more on what we love, and there's just more Sonic, Sega goodness in there for fans to come back to and appreciate more so on second viewing. So before I give you guys my score, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, if you like this review, the best way to support it is to drop that thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. I had a ton of fun with Sonic 2, and it makes improvements on the first. Carrey owns his screen time, but our classic trio is the highlight of this one. There are so many moments that fans will appreciate. The focus and pacing could have been improved, but it works overall, and that's why I'm going a 70% with my score. You may say, oh, that's a little lenient, but again, when a movie knows its audience and understands who it's trying to appeal to, for the most part, then I think it deserves to be given a pretty solid grade, and it's definitely one that I'm excited to see where they go with it next. Thanks again for joining. Hit that notification bell to know when I release my reviews. You guys are the best. Chili dogs.